Welcome back to KVUE News Daybreak. The attack in Manchester we spoke about just moments ago, back on Monday night, reminded us all of how dangerous and violent today's terrorists can be. This morning we have Fred Burton, Chief Security Officer at Stratfor, and Dave Sikora, Executive Chairman and CEO at Stratfor, here to discuss the tragedy and the work being done at Stratfor to provide valuable insight and analysis when things like this happen worldwide. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here bright and early with us on Daybreak this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
Fred, let's begin with you. You've talked to us before here on KVUE about soft targets. The attack in Manchester could not have been a softer target when you talk about the children leaving a concert venue. Is there any way, and I know there was a lot of intel about this specific bomber, is there any way to stop this outside of surveilling this guy 24/7?
Well, unfortunately, your viewers are not going to want to hear this, Brian, but there's just simply too many soft targets and too many potential opportunities for the terrorists to strike. And like we've chatted in the past, this boils down to human intelligence. Without having that human source, that snitch, that informant, that can tell you about that plot, you're not going to be able to stop these from occurring.
And it sounds like what we talked about earlier, his brother knew of an attack, an imminent attack it sounds like. And now we've learned this morning that the Manchester Police Department is essentially cutting the United States off from their investigation because leaks were taking place here in the United States. It seems like this is getting deeper and deeper.
It really is, and of course that affects that liaison relationship between the State Department, the FBI, and the CIA, and MI5 and MI6. But at the end of the day, the challenge with that kind of problem is that you have so many people in Washington that have access to terrorism information in our post-9/11 world today. It's amazing to me how many people do view that, from FAA to DHS to the National Park Service. So this was all done after 9/11, so there's not stovepipes. So terrorism information is broadcast and disseminated widely across the entire intelligence community.
And Dave, at Stratfor, which has been around here in Austin for 20 years now,
That's right.
It is your job to take all of this information and provide analysis with experts like Fred Burton. And recently you announced Worldview, which is a different, kind of taking it to a new level, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And as you point out, I mean, we're an Austin company, and we've honed our methodology in Austin over the last 20 years, and we just recently launched Worldview, which essentially is an innovative new digital platform for helping us assimilate, organize, and communicate information. And really, you know, Stratfor's always had fantastic analysis. We have a great team of analysts, great methodology, and what we wanted to do was provide a 2017 kind of level of digital technology to allow our customers to engage with us better.
And when events like this happen, obviously Stratfor works all the time to detail information and intelligence that you all have. But this is really when it's important to have people like yourselves disseminating the information and making sure people know that need it, what they need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's part of me feels as though this is a public service that we're doing. My background is in technology, but you know, the key, the intelligence is interesting, but what you have to do is you have to have the platform, the methodology, and the team to distill all of that information into valuable insights. And then you have to have the technology to be able to leverage those insights and communicate and give folks a way to engage as well.
Fred, on that topic, I'd love to get your thoughts on all that's going on with Russia. You've mentioned several times to me the Cold War never ended. And now we're seeing more evidence of their interest in the United States. If our president in the Oval Office gave away intel that was received from another country, what damage could something like that do, not only to our relationship with this country, but with other countries trusting us in the future?
Well, as President of the United States, he has that declassification authority just simply because of the position that he's in. And from a liaison perspective, much like what we saw with the Brits cutting us off, cutting the U.S. off in light of Manchester, there's always that kind of potential that exists in that kind of disclosure. But Brian, there's a tremendous amount of politics surrounding this entire issue inside the Beltway. So I think that in my assessment, knowing Director Mueller, that was just appointed as a special counsel, there's no doubt in my mind that they will get to the bottom of all this kind of information to kind of make sense of the noise. There's a lot of noise surrounding this issue right now.
Gentlemen, I'm all out of time, but it is my pleasure to have you here with us, Dave. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
As always, our pleasure.
Thanks
Great
for
work
having
at
us.
Stratfor. It's always a pleasure to have you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.